Hey, what's going on YouTube? Figured I'd do a long-awaited update on the new 65. Got a couple new pieces of livestock, as you see. They got a yellow tang and a mated pair of Ocellaris clowns. Also got another chromis. And a couple new pieces of coral. Walk you through. Doesn't show up very well right here. Got about 20 heads of pink and green acans. A really bright right there. About 4 or 5 heads of frog spawn. Some super green, I think they call them nuclear green polyps. A piece of green slimer, but I don't think it's going to live. Not too happy about that, but and then some kind of plate, pink plate coral with super long polyp extension on it. A couple more polyps right here on a frag. Another really cool carpet anemone, pink and green. I know some people have concerns about him. He moved from right here to right there, and he seems really happy right there. So, as for right now, he's not too big. Nobody's really messed with him, so right now, I'll kind of leave him alone. As you can see, I don't know, it doesn't really pick up. My SPS corals are starting to pick up their color again. The one in the middle, let's see, right here is starting to turn real yellow, and this one is starting to get its dark blue color back. Right here, I'm still having a little bit of algae trouble. Everything's starting to kind of die off. First initial overall thoughts on down below. I almost crashed my tank with the bio pellets when I started using them. I put a cup, about a little over a cup in, because I think the recommendation were a cup per 50 gallons or so, and so I was still on the low side, and right away, about as soon as they started taking effect, as soon as bacteria started kicking in, that's when I had my huge algae break, and everything just like seemed like it was just super unhappy. So I backed it down. I backed it down to about 1/8 of a cup, and now I got 1/4 of a cup in there. Everything seems pretty happy, but I'm still getting a lot of hair algae. And one thing I wasn't doing as well as with the bio pellets, I wasn't running the outlet tube directly to the protein skimmer. As you can see, it comes out right down here, right into the feed of the protein skimmer. I didn't know to do that, but I was reading online, and a lot of nutrients come out of these biopellet reactors, and they get eaten up by the protein skimmer. You don't want too much nutrients in the tank. But I'm trying to figure out, get a feeding schedule going on how much to feed. I've never had so many fish in my tank, so I'm trying to get used to how much to feed. The yellow damsel eats yellow tang eats purely New Life Spectrum. It's kind of small pellets, and I'm trying to get them switched over to my Aquadyne nutritional system, marine food that I get from my local fish store. But and he's starting to eat it, but I'm just happy I don't have to put every once in a while I'll put some I'll put some seaweed in there for them, but I really don't want to get them on. The Spectrum has a lot of the same stuff in it as from what I can see. But if you look at all my LPS, the Hammer and the Frog Spawn, the ones that I had, they seem super happy. They're all fully extended, and I know I was concerned about my lights. If you can see, my lights are way off the tank now. About a foot to 15 inches high, and they're sitting at about 60%. I've been moving up the light even more. One way that I've really found out that a lot of things can take more light is some of these polyps and stuff on the bottom. When the sun, this is right by a door, and when the sun comes out right at the end of the day, a lot of stuff reaches towards the sun like it wants more light. So I'm going to try to keep increasing the lights and maybe start moving down those lights a little closer. I feel like I'm getting great color. I love the light spectrum from the full spectrum lights, and everything's working great. Kenya trees are just exploding. I've actually taken a bunch of those out. Oh yeah, I also got some yellow clove polyps right there. A tiny little Recordia mushroom. And back in the back, right there, is actually a tiny little rose bubble tip anemone. So I'm pretty excited about the tank. I feel like it's going really well. My only concern, like I said, is the bio pellets. I think I might switch this over, might get the sponges or make some sponges and start running GFO. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe remove some of this hair algae. It's not too bad. I found a really neat way. I had it all over this rock right here, and I've been watching on how to get rid of hair algae, and dipping it in 50% hydrogen peroxide and 50% tank water for about 2 minutes, and kind of shaking it around, and then rinsing it off in tank water again and putting it back in. It just drops all the hair algae. Corals don't seem to mind it. They close up for about a day and then open right back up. This thing was completely covered in hair algae. This set of polyps right there, as well as this rock. Dipped the whole thing in hydrogen peroxide 3% and put it back in. Everything was back out in a day, and all the hair algae just fell right off of it. Did it on my candy cane trumpets right there. They're still trying to get back into the swing of things, but they looked like they had completely closed up. It looked like they were almost like a hard skeleton. Now it looks like you can see the flesh back on them again. So I'm hoping as soon as I start running GFO, we're really going to see some improvement. I'm running passive Elite, ChemiPure Elite, which has GFO in it, but it's only 1 unit, and I think it's just not enough for that whole tank. I've been turn this light on. I've been changing out my protein skimmer. Since I put that biopellet cord right there, the protein skimmer has been skimming like crazy. It's awesome. I just changed this this morning, and it's already kind of covered in gunk, so it's been working really well. If you remember the Duncans in my tank before I switched it over, every one of them was closed, and then when I switched it over and had the lights really low on the tank, they stayed closed up, and they were closed up for about a month almost. Now they're starting to gain back their color. All the heads are open. They're just kind of happy as can be. I'm seeing new growth on the SPS. I'm seeing growth on, I'm not exactly sure what, I don't know if I can get a good shot of it or not. There's something, there we go. Oh, that's awesome. It used to be real bright pink with green polyps on it, but now it's kind of, or bright orange with green polyps on it. And now its color's just starting to come back, and it's encrusting like crazy, which is what I want to see. There's the new frog spawn. Really cool looking colors. And there's the big engorged frog spawn that I've had forever. The plates, the Monty plates, doing great. Seeing some new growth, getting some really cool colors on them. The Blastos seem to be super happy right there. Go back down to these things. The colors on them are just awesome. Back up a little bit. Just awesome. My goal is that I want to start running some GFL, either get another reactor or just dump the biopellets altogether. Because I'm still getting kind of a brown. As soon as I started using the biopellets, I got this brown kind of film. Let's see if I can get a picture of it on everything. And if anybody can tell me what that is right there, it just started growing out of nowhere. It's got some cool little neon green heads on it, but it just came out of nowhere. I've never brought it into the tank or introduced it or anything like that. These A cans right here are super happy. Look at all the polyps coming off of it, or the whatever you would call that. Really neat. I got this piece of coral right here. It used to be completely browned out. Now it's getting this cool. It doesn't come through very good. It still looks brown. In person, it's like this bright pinkish red color with polyps coming out of it. Really neat. As always, my little, as you can see, the hair algae driving me nuts. I don't know if anybody has any recommendations. This plate coral, I've never seen it have polyp extension like this. It's kind of it's a little washed out on the picture, but it's a real kind of a dark brownish red with like super yellow tips and yellow polyps. But I think when I got this, they called it a pink pipe plate, but I'm not exactly sure. Some mushrooms are doing super happy, others don't seem as happy. What else? I know this is kind of a long video. Sorry about that. But just really excited about the tank. Some of the other goodies I got. The reason I got some of these new things is a guy was closing down his tank on Craigslist, and I had an old power sprayer, paintless power sprayer, and I traded him for a whole bunch of equipment and all the fish and corals. One of the things that I got was this Reef Keeper light, one PC4, no probes or anything, but I was just excited. Except I've built my entire tank around other types of automation, thinking I was never going to get a controller. So I have the JBJ auto top off, the True Temp JBJ for heat, everything. All the lights are on timers. The Got the JBL WP25, which is on a controller, which works great for me. One of the power heads, that Nano Corelia power head, is hooked up to the lights with the timer, so that shuts off at night. So really all I have is one main power head. So it's kind of tough. What am I going to really plug into the aquarium controller? So any recommendations or anything like that, let me know. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Thank you so much. Give you one more walk around the tank. One other thing I forgot to mention, when I got this tank, I got it from a local fish store. And yeah, you can see the wave right there. I got it from a local fish store who gave me the tank because they had said that it was wrong, came wrong from the manufacturer, that the pipes weren't in the right place. And they had drilled it in the wrong place. Well, I did some finagling and fixed it. I don't even know if there was anything wrong. I'm just not sure if they knew how to put it together. But if you can see right here, I actually lost a chromis that went in. I ended up catching them, but I ended up just super gluing a piece of from an Emperor filter, the basket that holds the sponge and carbonate and stuff. Cut that out and super glued it to the back, right there, and then right in the middle. So don't have any problems with that. If you have any recommendations on how to get rid of this hair algae, that would be great. I'm hoping the rose bubble tip anemone starts coming out and gets a little bigger, and because originally the pair of clownfish were hosting it, but the guy had his tank in pretty bad shape. And hadn't had the lights on for a while, and had a big sand sifting dragon goby or bullet goby, and it just buried corals and buried everything and kind of tore up his tank. So I ended up getting everything for a really good price, or free, just to trade something that I was trying to get rid of. So pretty excited about. Everybody's getting along. If you have any questions or concerns or comments, let me know. I'll be back with an update here shortly. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you later.